Shorty Loop heading south. Not going to follow up. Shorty Loop is just a little bit north of us. If I'm not mistaken. And they're heading south and they're not being followed up because nobody wants to visit in the north. They want to go to the line and cover because again, probably some of them on their third night without lions. Down road, only briefly, and then we'll head down. Yeah, let's see the sun behind us. Might be an idea as well to spend some time south of the border, south of the Thornybush River, and find some of our regulars. No, we're the visitors. They're the regulars. The giraffe, Deborah. Wildebeest, Billy. Okay, I'm going to spend most of the rest of the afternoon behind us, somewhere or another. Oh, sunset, then we'll look at it again. Dragging its tail. Something like vervet monkeys. Dragging their tails on a hot day. Giraffe tracks on that side. Okay, I've got to have shades on, really, so bright. Future's so bright, I've got to wear shades. Also, the other thing is that very good in here? Good, thanks. You've been away? Oh. Oh, you found him? Yes, I know. Well done. Well done for persevering. It always pays off. No, not towards the estuary, no, sadly. But I'm hoping that once they're done down there, they might move a little bit east and come in next fall. We've got a lot of nyala there for them. Morning, everybody. So yeah, I believe there'll be a few vehicles down there. Also, keep a lookout for that other male. And there's a female, I don't know, it might be one of the black guys. But they're in that Westful Donga. They crossed that. I was going to go and have a look, but I'm going to head back up to maybe near Leti and go and look for things up that way while you guys are down there. Oh, that's all. Okay. Coming up towards Leti. Oh, and then the Mangowan extension. Yeah. Okay, I'll have a look for that. Where was that bumper? Oh, where? In room number 8 area? I heard that, yes. Okay. And he did it himself, obviously. Oh, so she's left him with you. You babysit him for a while. But I think that's also maybe because they're getting older now and there's too much clashing on the field. I mean, I had that on Chester South the other day, on that termite mound, when the two of them were there together. It was fine feeding if one was feeding, but if the other one moved, there was growling. Yeah, so possibly. She's a clever girl. Trying to separate them before they do damage. Anyway, we'll be on our way. Bye bye all. Enjoy your drive. Excuse me, that is nice to just sit and chat. I hope you caught all of that. Chatting about Malawan female and her cub. It was meant that he was down here at River Lodge yesterday morning, so he went up tonight. Today he's up in, that's why there's no tracks south of the river, no tracks of leopards around us today, because they've all been up at Royal Malawan. There was a kill yesterday. I didn't really get it all on the radio because quite often, like now, I have to turn it down a little bit. I'm trying to talk to you and the boys all trying to talk about their fighting, so it gets a bit awkward. But there was talk of, no, it was this morning, it wasn't yesterday, because it must have happened last night. They got a duiker. Munti in Shanghai is a duiker, and so they killed a duiker around about room 8. I think I mentioned it on Drive. There was a lion kill in front of a leopard kill in front of one of the rooms. But interesting that this Malawan female has then taken her younger cub. She's missing one cub, and I've got a funny feeling I know where he is. He's just chasing warthogs at Timber Body Safari Goes, I think. But they're only talking about the one cub that she's with. Not whether anything's happened to him other than he's just being an independent young male. He's hanging around on his own rather than following her and his brother. But it is a very real thing. They're getting that age now where competition on the carcass is getting severe. I don't know, some of you may remember a few years ago when Mission and Duna started getting bigger, and they had this leopard kill just near, it was just near Vuyatela, but there were two big marula trees, and I think it was Induna was on the kill in the one marula tree, and it was this time of the year. The marulas had no leaves on them, and I think it was Seb and I found it. The mad Frenchman from Gabon, who's now got a gorgeous little daughter, Seb and Shannon. And there was this growling, and even though they were in two different marula trees, there was this growling and snarling at each other. And as soon as there wasn't meat on the table, they were the biggest of buddies. They were brothers again. Okay, not a table, but in the branch of the marula tree. Coming to Trace Franklin. You know, we really ought to make a trip around Longwan Dam. Takes a little bit hard to come all this way and not go to Longwan Dam. Okay, we want to be looking for cats and they're starting to move, not as deep. Nice with the sunlight and stuff. Very funky. Reminds me of lower one. Lower. Cartoon. Baby always loves something. Yeah, no, it seems a lot. It's like a train. I'd rather use the railway line than drive over the grass and derail myself. Okay, we'll go across the dam, Longwan, and then we're going to make our way and look for leopard tracks. It's nice to know that she actually is back in our area after killing a duiker up at Royal Malawan Lodge, leaving the older cub, taking her younger cub and saying, "Don't worry, little boy, I'll catch you another duiker." Hello, Pinky. What you got for me? Charlie. And now that moment I read some emails. I see it's Charlie, and I'm sorry I called you Charlene this morning. Charlie, wanting to know, have I had some memorable encounters with angry critters when on the digger? Many memorable moments. Many remarkable ones, many exceptional ones, many wonderful ones. But I can't really recall any angry critters. I can recall occasionally having cats growl at me, and that wasn't my fault. They were just Mafukunyan cats. There was that time when I was looking for Mishu, because I was following all sorts of signs, and I found Mishu. He's a little leopard, by the way, and it was quite a way off road. And there had also been, it was a very young daker, there'd also been a kill. And I ended up stopping because I couldn't see in the long grass. And I ended up stopping right on top of the remains. But when I say remains, I mean they were bone fragments and bits of hair. It's not like there was a carcass. It's not like he had reason to be angry with me. But he appeared and he came sniffing around where the remains of the carcass was, right next to my door. And I can't remember if it was the digger, I didn't have a door. If it was the gunda, I did have a door. And he looked up at me in the camera and he gave this snarl that said, "You're standing on my food." It wasn't dangerous, it was just aggressive behavior from an animal. We had, even the other day, that male lion looking at us and growling a little bit when we were watching them on the kill. That other male who's not very fond, or rather familiar with the vehicles as much as the other young male is. I don't know whether he's familiar with the vehicle or Becky. Moira seems to think it's Becky that he's got his soft spot for. Becky seems to think because her hair forms mane, and that's also not far, because he's taking the coalition. So Becky, you could join the coalition any day with your dark mate. Okay, now I've got to just investigate the strange marking in the road. I can show you. I'll do exactly what I did. I'm going to do that. What I showed these guests. Well, I threw that piece of wood away. You can't really see it too well. But there's what appears to be a drag mark. And I stopped to go and have a look at it, and then the vehicle arrived, and I thought I better move the car. And by the time I got back to it, the tracker was off looking, and he had parked on top of it. But then I realized that it was a stick, and as the car must have hit it, the Land Rover, it bounced up and must have got caught on the chassis, and it had been dragged up into that little gully that's in the middle of the road. So I pulled it out from under his car and I laid it down exactly where it is, where that mark is in the road, and it fits perfectly. Maybe something had dragged something, but to have a puzzle to work out. around the elephant. Up in the north. Somewhere. Oh, there's what's Shorty there. Shorty Loop. Still setting sun. They still could maybe come. Oh no, they've got a long way to go to get to even Royal Malawan. They're still north of Royal Malawan. They're not coming south in a hurry. So really. That's great. All across the dam. Buffalo in the dam. Almost on the edge. Cool buffalo. Hello boys. Don't get up. Don't get up. Really, don't get up. Five of you. 6 of you. Actually, 6 boys. One on the other side too. So, I think Becky had a question. Giraffe with his head sticking up. Wind picking up, trying to put paper away. A buffalo on the far right is looking at and facing us, sitting quite comfortably on the beach. Look how rounded his horns are. He's quite an old man. His horns have been really, really worn down compared to, say, the buffalo that's behind him. That you can actually only see one head and 2 buffalo. Actually, you can see one head and 3 buffalo. Look how sharp his horns still are and how they curve inwards. completely different curvature to them. And then look at the difference between that one and the one closest us with his back thrust, sitting just behind a stranded Stichosaurus. And another red flower that sits on that peninsula. Another one is flowering. I'd like to know what it is. I can't go there now, not with buffalo there. Let's continue. I know we might miss something in this exciting scene, but let's continue. The buffalo lifted his head. Wait a second, please. I thought it was a heron, but I'm now starting to see come forward. There's a woolly-necked stork up along the dam before we leave. No, to go. Let's go forward a little bit and stop again. Yes. Oh, there goes the greenback heron, being right close to us. To the side of the way. Actually, that's quite nice. I don't know if you get it, because it's quite far, but it's sitting on that Logosaurus. Or was it a Logodactyl? Tree stump. Logodactylus tree stumpiensis. Yes, Becky, sorry. I'm turning the wrong radio down and the other one up. Pardon? Yes. Hello, Linda. Linda in hot Dallas, not other Linda in Texas, although Dallas is in Texas, but we've got two Texas Lindas. This is Linda in Dallas. In hot Dallas, not hot Dallas, just hot Dallas today. Surprisingly, since there's a heat wave going on, and of course there are those bad fires in Arizona, and my heart goes out to the 19 firefighters that were killed in an Arizona fire. It's shocking. But Linda was saying that it's surprising that there aren't any more dead animals lying around. Look, there's some impala coming to drink. We might have to just sit here for a while and actually, for once in our lives, just see what happens at a waterhole. different one to say what is on the other cameras. For even just 20 minutes, we can just be like a dam cam. Kingfisher fishing behind the heron. Just dives in the water just behind the heron. Sorry. The camera. So you've got the stalk. That's a woolly necked stalk. We'll look at that and there goes the heron. This is the kingfisher again. Oh, I'm coming inside now. Buffalo are getting restless actually. They seem to be waking up. But Linda was saying, is nature so efficient that we don't see any carcasses, especially with like the big herds of buffalo? And well, pretty much so, Linda. Not that many animals. Well, I suppose it will be hard to tell since the scavengers get to them. So not only scavengers, but predators too. Leopard would not be averse to taking an animal that has died already of natural causes. Neither would lion, hyena, jackal. We don't have that many jackal here. So many other smaller things, vultures. But perhaps one of the reasons why bacteria make a carcass smell is to attract the very things that come to a carcass. Actually, there's no maybe about it. There's the pied kingfisher gone to talk to the impala. Within hours of death, in fact not even. Bacteria starts within minutes. Within half an hour bacteria levels are huge and high, especially in this heat. Gases start building up. The impala are nervous. Partly maybe because of us. But maybe partly because of the notorious crocodile here. In the swing back to the heron, behind the heron there is a thick knee. Tending to tiptoe along the water's edge. There goes. Here comes the heron, coming back to its favourite fishing spot next to us, diverting to the buffalo. Not its favourite fishing spot under these little combretums hanging over the water here. It's like quite industrious fishermen, fisherwomen, fisherbirds, herons. Mainly because they have infinite patience. But the flies lay there. Ooh, kingfishers are up there, actually fishing there. We might be able to get closer. Watch it. But the smell brings the flies. The flies lay the eggs. The eggs hatch very, very quickly and within hours into maggots. The maggots begin to feed and they cause more smell and more decay and more smell. And so the cycle goes that more flies are attracted and more eggs are laid, and so before you know it, merely maggots can do away with a carcass in a matter of, well, in a short space of time. They don't get to the skin as much, but there will always be hyena and something lurking. Skin. Where did giraffe go? Lost him. Did you get giraffe?
Okay.
Yeah. Just his top of his head was showing. That was a bit close to the rocks, dude.
Yeah.
I'm worried if I move forward then we're going to be looking into the sun for the buffalo, although we still have that one. Okay, so sorry Becky, I was rambling on about carcasses decomposing. You may continue, young lady. Okay, you can send it now. Right here. I hope there's no sticks or anything in the way. I hope you're going to follow him when he dives in. See, there's only one bar around the throat. It's a female, I think. Okay, he's going to go any minute. No. Shelley was asking a question, but then as you were telling me, kingfisher flew, so my brain will try and recall it. While you were talking, not while you were asleep, while you were talking, kingfisher landed here in a tree. See, the male has an extra collar. She's only got the one collar, the one for the black broken collar coming around her neck. The male's got a second one. Don't know what. Where's that fish? I can't see it. It'd be nice if the bird comes and lands on this open branch. With the fish too. Deer on the beach. One buffalo got up and moving on, grazing. Thought they'd get active. Even I can see the fish. There. Here, false start. Jerk of excitement when it saw something. Kingfisher, we're waiting with bated breath. I mean, you're all active diving in and everything on the other side of the dam. Why aren't you doing it now? Oh, you've got to preen first. There's a feather loose on your forehead. What do you think? Maybe? Yeah. That was the greenback. It snuck back into the tree. Going back, not going to the tree stump. Man, it's somewhere in this tree, close to the water. Okay. Hello, Dina in Michigan. Wondering if the dark giraffe that we saw here with the partial melanism, whether he could have walked to Juma because they think they could have just seen him. I hope somebody got a screenshot of that. But my initial answer is no, it's impossible because there are not only fences but towns and villages, and well, to go through the reserve it would have to go through Sandringham or through the Timbavati, well, through Sandringham, then the Timbavati, into Kruger, around Orphan Gate, and then south into Manyaleti and then to Juma, a distance of which would be 100 and something kilometers. The two young rams, Impala rams, barring. It does come a little bit more into the open, would be good. But Kingfish has given us the slip. There was a 3-banded cover there that did the same. See these little boys. No, they're not. Okay, let's carry on. Get some wind in our hair. So it would be nice to see that. Oh, another 3-banded cover. Okay, but I forgot what Shelley asked. Yes, question? Ah, yes. Shelley asked the question and answered it in the same question. Hello, little Impala boys. Oh, your turn now. Your turn to run. Make a big jump. Well, it's not a big jump, it's a crawl. What about you, little boy? You gonna jump? No. When you say nod your head, that means no. In Impala, yes. He nodded his head. Look, elephant tracks. Same elephant that was here when they were browsing on the trees above the dam. Said marking to buffalo have matriarchal or patriarchal makeup of their, how does it work, or the family group. Yeah, the last one. Generally, We'll get a matriarch of a family group that will consist of almost similar, almost. Big herd of almost like elephant in a sense, but in a big breeding herd, there are lots and lots of bulls. And yes, there would be a hierarchy amongst the bulls. There would be some bulls that would claim access to females above others. And as to one singular buffalo being in charge of the herd, I don't think so. One can never tell whether it's the same buffalo that is leading the herd. It's the same group, the same older buffalo, because they know where to take the herd for the different seasons that they've learned, and it's something that happens over time, that the older buffalo tend to guide the herd where they go. But not one individual in charge. And then within the herd you have females and their calves and close relatives that move close to them. Either offspring and their offspring, perhaps. But now that's the fresh early. Much fresher early track. Well, I think that's being driven on slightly the same. But depends, as they ought to be on any drive. Can you tell how old a buffalo is by the horn? And it depends on whether it is young or old. But yes, up to an age. I suppose it doesn't even have to use the depends. But yes, you can. The horn growth is almost the same thing. In a horn growth in all the antelope, in fact, not only buffalo, but all the bovids, buffalo, as well as all the bovids. No, buffalo as well as all the other ungulates and horns. That's more accurate. Buffalo as well as antelope, and that's pretty much it. Unlike elephants. Genetic. You can't really tell an elephant's age through the touch. However, with you can tell how old they are by their horns, but only up to a certain age. Once they become adults, thicken, but they don't really grow much more. And that's where genetics are cut in. Suitable when you get another. He was here today. First few years, in this case buffalo, but depending on the other animals, they have a different rate of growth for their horns until adulthood, and then it takes over. The some have bigger horns than others when they get here. Then become their horns a lot in the mud, and their horns before today become very rounded and worn with age, and that is not something that is a regular wearing. buffalo will wear their horns quicker than others. So it's no longer a form of measurement. Yes, that's exactly like the little talk. No more monkeys. See him now, you don't. Monkeys. Almost like Ian. Good, like you see him. He's not. Yes, Becky, what have you got? And you know what kind of was, is, well, it was on camera, but it's the kingfisher, the pied kingfisher. As we get pied crows, pied starlings, pied wagtails. Pied generally refers to something that's black and white. That refers to the pied color. So that combination of black and white is known as a pied coloration. Doesn't mean they're baked in a pie. But that reminds me, while we're here, stop and listen to that. Maybe we'll hear some trees breaking. And I can show you the pied kingfisher. I'll show you the heron. We'll see what I can. There we go. What's the best? Yes, that's something. Green back there. That was the little one that was sitting on the water, on the wood in the water. That's the juvenile. That's the adult. It looks a uniform sort of olive colour from that distance. Back here. And then we had the woolly neck fork, which is this one down here. Across the dam. Cicogna. Cigogne in French, cicogna in Italian, and its scientific name is ciconia as well. As are all the sorts, most of them. What else was there? The kingfisher. Somewhere here. Cornwall, sea eaters, kingfisher too. But we look at this here. Oh, what I wanted to show you was that you can see the male has a double collar, the female has the single collar. So that's how we know she was a female. Very striking pied color to the kingfisher. Helps to break up this image when it's catching fish. Gymnogene, African harrier hawk. Let me show you that while we're at it. an adult. So everything below my hand, that's all part of the area hawk profile. There's the juvenile, the adult. The adult has a very distinct bar in the tail. This ability of the adult, or the bird, to hang upside down on, say, a weaver's nest, or like we saw it on a tree, and quite a remarkable bird. And no elephants breaking branch. In Charlotte, North Carolina, I think. Do high or low pressure weather systems affect animals? They do, very much so. We've seen it. We will see it. And it is something that's very real. As soon as you get a pressure system, the temperature changes, you see less of the animals. Sometimes also when you get a huge high pressure system, changes in pressure, then all sorts of things change, because that could lead to thunderstorms and good rain. So there are all sorts of things that take place, change in the behavior of amphibians and insects and reptiles that we have in the wet season, in the summer months. Nowadays we're mostly just getting these, well, we get high pressure, but it doesn't bring rain. It brings nice warm days like this. And when we get a cold front coming in, it brings wet and cold and cloudy conditions, and sends animals into thickets, makes them a lot less active. And affects even plants flowering. And if you have irises, you'll know how irises suddenly bloom before a rain, because they feel that it's very great change. Irises are one of the main telltale flowers. And in a place like this where they remain most of the time, I mean, irises so you get them in lodges around buildings, but it never fails to impress me how when I see a bunch of irises flowering, dark sounding gossail, he's in the grass here. Gosh, wonder what he was catching. And then Ruby. There's another one in the base at the top. That's the other one lower down. The one that was here. They must have just caught something. It looks like the female lower down and the male up at the top there. He's a lot smaller. She's a bit darker. I have seen this pair before. Such a striking bird. The red feet and the red beak. It's actually not so much the beak as much as it is the cere. The dark beak with the red cere. The cere is that fleshy area around the nose, the nostrils rather. So, shall we go? They're not really clear visuals of them. Yep. See them. They might have something in the grass there that they were feeding on. Or one was feeding on it. Have at it, Gospel. Up in East Africa we get the Eastern Chant Gospel. Nickname is ECG. Doesn't quite have the same effect as saying DCG. Okay, what is DCG? By the dark Thornybush. Never mind, you had to be there. Let's see if we can find any sign of this cat. This cat of ours. Well, actually, we are humans. We are staying in her territory. So the elephant are right up in the north, the very, very north, in Tangala. Very, very north of the south, which is halfway up Thornybush. Up there. What's she gonna do? Too far. I can see a green pigeon from here. How green that pigeon is. I hope it's going to stay there. Maybe it's just a grey bird that's got a green tinge to it because of all the worry. But I think it's a green pigeon eating worry. Here's a green pigeon in the open. I hope it's going to stay there because, strangely enough, it's also got a red cere and red feet. I'm going to get a clear shot of it. There's a striking bird for you. I'm coughing all this. Little scratch in my throat. I need some candy or something. Or a beer. Beer settled the tickle in the throat very quickly. We should keep it better. I thought, actually I should have looked. I was too much. I was a little bit too, what was the word? there are not. Maybe the next junction. This one will stop before we get to the junction. I'm going to have to stop here, and I want to drive on track because she might have come out of that road, and I want to go up to where the next one turns to the right. Won't be too long. That hurts. Nothing, but when you saw me doing weird dance moves with my feet, that was because I was putting my feet in elephant tracks. I have this thing that whenever I'm walking around the elephant tracks, I've got to put my foot where their foot was. And if it's a left foot, I put my left foot. If it's an elephant's right foot, I put my right foot. When they're walking slowly, they place their back feet in the same place where they put their front foot. It's actually a hand. I don't know why we call them four-legged. And they clearly got two. They just walk on their arms as well. No fun there. Yeah. No fun. That's this very elephant. Actually, there was more than one. There were a couple whose feet I was putting my footsteps in. This is what they did. They the culprits. I didn't do that. Promise. Sad thing is, it's still growing. Gorgeous little acacia tortilis. those, I'll probably remove it. Sorry, forgetting sometimes to put my earpiece in. Take it out the floor. So Becky, if I can get it into a modified brand name earpiece. Give me the ultimate laptop, I'll say the name. Yes, Becky. Yeah. Charlie wants to know. Hello, Charlie. Charlie wants to know if there are many hippos around Thornybush. Well, yes, I believe there are quite a few. I have only seen hippos when I've been driving in places where we don't have signal. Like when I was exploring our signal range on the day before we went live, and another day when we were filming lion walking up the boundary and we lost you, we couldn't go live. And we had to cross a dam. And there just happened to be lots of hippo there. Not lots, 5, I think. We'll just go this way. I'll just say hello there. Jadi water park. Andak tu. Nyari at Langwan. Aku benar tu. Dalam konsi English. Hi everyone. How you doing? Good, thanks. We are. We got 3 3D rigs, and we broadcasting live right now to the world. Project came to an end there, so now we're doing a 3D series here. Actually based on Steve's place. Oh right. I'm sorry if I don't remember. Where were you at Duma? Were you staying at one of the other lodges or at Duma? Okay. Wonderful. Well, nice to see you again. I'm sorry if I forgot that. Forgive me, and forgive my dust. Will definitely do. Okay. Enjoy your stay. Change direction. There's a front coming. That could be a front. Okay, I was interrupted. No, I wasn't. I just interrupted myself. Anyway, I don't remember what I was saying. Really don't remember. You'll have to remind me if I finish the story or not. I do this to myself all the time. That's why I guess I never finish anything. Nature interrupts me. Adam's gonna see my bed, my footprints now. On the radio, I hit in and say there's a poach bed. Oh, I saw that this morning. I saw that big male dinosaur. asked, well, it wasn't really a question, it was a statement. He said, you look quite high-tech there. It will get more high-tech than this, 3D cameras. Broadcasting live. I wish the world caught on to it. I wish it was more exciting for more people. Maybe if we did this in a place like Ruaha, Uluru, Tarangire, somewhere Masai Mara, Serengeti, somewhere in East Africa where this. Although then you'd get bored, I think. You'd be seeing lion every day. You'd get boring seeing lion every day. And every elephant. You see more of an impala. Where under every tree there's a family group of elephants. And for hours you just drive through elephants. Yes. Sherry. Not sure where that was. Sharon saying thanks for my homage to Monty Python's Ministry of Curious Walks. I remember that. I could never match John Cleese for weird walking. But no, what I was doing, I was being very serious. I was just dancing in elephant tracks, putting my feet where they stood. What have I got here? Nothing. Impala and giraffe. Maybe I'll be lucky with the leopard. Okay, we're going to cruise the riverbed now a little bit. Pardon? This quarry bush always gets some more. Okay. It's the first time that cable cars come off. In quite a while. Let me cut them. Cutting up there. Use them again. Where's the full one? Ah. Good. See, it comes out like this and then it gets loose. When the cable car breaks, hit the tree. It's got to be flexible. So this is an amazing thing that Becky made that actually keeps it nice and steady. But we didn't know how to keep it from rocking. And Becky came up with the U-bolt idea. Right. Fine. Now you just film this GoPro for me.
This GoPro. You can put this GoPro filming, that GoPro filming this. Oops. There we go. Sorry.
Karen? No, I didn't. The antenna did. So yes, it will confuse the trackers. They will think I was a candidate for the Ministry of Curious Walks, or whatever it was. And they will think I was trying to do a John Cleese impression. And the animals, God only knows what they will think. But yes, they will pick up my scent, definitely. And I don't know how they'd react to it. No special way that they would, each one differently. Oh, nice bloody system. Huge road. And it's also only in the last few decades. In fact, not even decades. So, a lot of it is probably just from this one recent rain. Look at that quarry roots sticking out. There's a lot of very small roots there that have only been exposed for time. And that's a good meter of soil washed away. But that rain was relentless last year. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Smoke. I don't think it's a cold front. Strange. I think it's mostly smoke. Smoke. All of thick, brownish pink sky. This thing flying across the southern sky. Smoke from Acorn Hook and Bushbuck Ridge and Sabi, Hazy View, Nelspruit. Town. chaos. West. One of them, yeah. Really looks good. Look at the Thornybush River in this light. We can stop here and get a really lovely shot of that.
Narrowly a stretch of river like this would be prime lion and leopard territory.
Not quite as wide as, say, like the Mongoose River. It is mostly a sandy bed, I suppose. There are so many animals. There are many lion and many leopards. What views is gospel? Oh, kestrel maybe. Some little raptor just flew overhead. Okay, shall we? think that those lion are hunting buffalo at the moment. Okay, Becky. Keep my ear to the radio. Sorry, who was that from, please? Clancy and Columbus. I'm not listening. No, I'm not listening. Can't hear. Clancy, I think, in Columbus, Ohio. They're starting to do that again. Using up with the microphone. Maybe. If I had a bucket list, what would be on the top of my bucket list? To go back 200 years in time. No, 400. And be here. Okay, let's listen. The time machine doesn't exist. I suppose we're talking about real time and real bucket lists with real possibilities. After all, isn't a bucket list something that you're supposed to do one day eventually? I'm going to have to take a rain check on that. I don't know. Kakadu, Northern Australia. Pantanal, Gabon, Madagascar. Those are sort of top bucket list places to go and see wildlife, to go and film. What is a bucket list? Is it places to go or things to do or what? Things to do. Okay, so my bucket list in life, I thought it was places to go. Top of my bucket list is do something about the elephant poaching and the slaughter of elephants that is happening, and make a movie, direct or produce a movie, and take camera right throughout Africa. I mean, I'll do something like the Jigger, get a vehicle and actually drive it through all the countries in Africa, going to all the national parks, and documenting the status of African elephants in Africa at this point in time, and see how dire it is, and do this whole docudrama about. See, I want to do something that's not going to be relegated to a. No, I'm not even going to say it. Something that doesn't even get aired. I don't want to do something that just becomes another documentary. I want to do something that's going to be something of note. That's going to have people in it of very high standing. And we do something about the elephant crisis in Africa right now, and it will have to go all over the world to see where this ivory is going and the very people that are fueling it. That's my bucket list. That's something I want to do before I die. Nothing else. Just want to figure out how to do that. But all the people just need the funding. Don't know how to do that. I'm not a humanitarian as such. I'm in the lowest rung of the human world. I can't do much for humanity. Humanity has got its benevolent people, and it's. I'm still on this planet. I've led more lives than a cat. And I'm still on this planet for a reason, and it seems to be elephants. The only thing that makes sense to me is that I'm here to do something about the elephants. And through that, work very, very hard with communities throughout Asia and Africa where elephant-human conflict exists, and try and resolve those conflicts through natural means, like using beehives around crop fields and things to keep elephants out, and at the same time to sustain the bee population that's also dying because, I suppose, bees and elephants are important to me in some way. Does that make sense? He asked rhetorically. Okie dokie. Ain't too much happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. That was a Franco then, scurrying through the bush. Not even a fishing or a stork or an impala or a nyala, but a really beautiful sky. So when we get back to the other road, we'll see that. And then we're going to go and say hello to Billy and the wildebeest. They're a game rock band. Okay, changing of subject, as Vic sends another question. Charlie wants to know what has become of the hyena den that I was looking for. Well, either I haven't found it, Charlie, or it doesn't exist. However, looking for it in one place doesn't constitute really looking for it on a continual basis. I went to look, I couldn't find. I don't know, it might have been bad timing. There weren't very many hyena tracks on the road that gave me much thought to it. Or rather, that led me to believe there was still one there, as opposed to when I first drove this fence line and I was first there with Brian one evening and we found a young hyena and lost the hyena tracks. And, well, it could very well be that there was one there once, but they moved on, because they do move then. Look at that. And they drove into the sunset. So what we'll do quickly, show you a trick. Now, not that trick of making the digger squeak. I'm going to just do that, and then I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to do that. For effect. Tells me which way the wind is blowing. That's why I was kicking dust earlier. When I was walking, looking for tracks, I was kicking dust just to keep track of where the wind was going. Welcome to Africa and our wonderful sunsets, everyone. We don't have many places to view them, and every day, wherever we are, we do try, or almost every day, to give you a view of how beautiful Africa can be in the evenings. Just the sound of a lot of cricket and things down on the river. Yes, Becky has a question. Yes, Becky, go ahead. presses, the GoPro goes. Okay. I don't know what you. I'm gonna go. Talking to Dickie now. And the GoPro beeps. Sassy Perella. Hello, Rosie. Have I ever been to Tembe Elephant Park, and would that be on my bucket list? No and yes. Most definitely, actually. Pretty soon, too, actually. I'll have to find somebody. Maybe I can get Annie to take me in her Land Rover. Or... I don't think my Land Rover will make it in its current state. We have Laura, Kaylee, and her Land Rover are no longer. Jessie and her Land Rover is gone, and so is Anina and her Land Rover. I'll find a way to Tembe. Just bring me a Land Rover. Imagine it's a good driver to get to Tembe. To see some of those big, giant elephants. Well, they're big tuskers. They're not like giant elephants, as much as they are just big tuskers. Did you want to, I suppose I should say it till it's set. But I want to get across the river while there's still a little bit of light. Tembe Elephant Park, Tembe Transfrontier, I think goes into Mozambique. I'd love to go up there. Snake track across the road. Sarsaparilla reminds me of the Sassy sisters. Whatever happened to the Sassy sisters? Elephant. Fowler. I was looking for Sansevieria today, and I guess I might have seen them, but my brain didn't register. It doesn't find one. Sansevieria for Cindy for her. I don't know why. Hardydars calling. I haven't really heard Hardydars much. There's a bushbuck too in the pink sky. I'll just put one layer on. Not too chilly tonight, actually. Quite pleasant. Bushbuck gone. Move on. Gazing off into space, my mind wandering. where they found the lion and buffalo. I don't know whether the lion was moving to the buffalo or the buffalo was moving to the lion, but the lion taken, I quote, highly mobile, I quote. Running away very, very fast. Didn't want to get caught with their cubs, this group of buffalo. Maybe they'll snatch their cubs and go back and eat one in retaliation. Zebra down there. Let's have a look at the zebra. Look at that sky there. It's a little nice long shot. What tree that is picking up? Very quiet up there. There's still one zebra on the road. Zebra that come into camp every night, I think. Same family we see quite often. Should be getting used to it. I think maybe I'm making assumptions. So far I've only seen one. So there's a big mare. Okay. The mare that's got that funny scar on her leg. I've been meaning to ask someone about it. Yeah. Charlie wants to know if there are wild dogs in the area. No, Charlie, there are not. Sorry, Mrs. Zebra. She's kind of stuck up here on her own. The rest of the herd hasn't come out yet. Interrupting. So we're going to turn around and go the other way. This. Yeah, that's what we will be, because now we're just pushing her away from the rest of the herd. They are quite vocal animals. They'll reconnect soon. Others are coming through. Whoa. Through from the south, through the thicket. Charlie, I believe, the last there were wild dog on Thornybush was I think the day before, or the day we started our live drive here in Thornybush, and they were up at Thornybush Lodge, way up in the north, so that would have been sort of mid-May, I think mid-May. But they must have paid a fleeting visit. They killed a couple of impala, and then I think they disappeared again, back to the Thornybush. They obviously have a way to get through the fence. But at the moment, no wild dogs, no. Not to our knowledge. With so many vehicles driving around, believe me, that would spread on the radio like wildfire, or maybe not a good analogy there, considering what's been happening in Colorado and what is happening in Arizona. But the guys will go crazy to get to see wild dogs. If it happens, it happens. Of course, one could bump into them at any moment, because they haven't been seen, doesn't mean they might be coming through the fence as we speak. That has become a river. Or the riverbed. Well, I tried to find tracks of leopard today, but I couldn't. I didn't. I lost the lion because they went into a place I couldn't go. Hyena was here. Couldn't find an elephant. I'm useless. I think I better give it up. Oh, happy July, everyone. 1st of July. Getting ready for some people. What? Just taking a pat on. Oh, thanks, Sandy. Got a pat on the back. I was getting close to the going to eat workspace. And so tomorrow's another day. Tra-li-la-li-la. Okay, we've got 5 minutes to find a leopard. Rolling in the sand. Warm up here, top of a rise, pleasant temperature. There's a giraffe to say goodbye. That's the little giraffe that normally follows the zebra everywhere. The zebra gave her the slip. Now she's got a couple of hard rams. But she was in the company of, there it is, another giraffe and his partner. Thirdly, power line. There's the male. Okay, so she found a family this girl. Maybe it's her family. Comes back to claim the wayward daughter who hangs out with zebra. Daughter doesn't know the difference between spots and stripes. Yeah, look, these deer, these are spots you belong to us. That's a creeper or something in that deadwood. Yeah. Trying to get it. You missed. Given up. Mostly because the other two adults have walked away. Even a young giraffe towers over impala. Never scratch. Yes. I'll do that for you. Or maybe not. Flamboyant. Comes from South America. You don't really like it? Good girl. And as the giraffe walks off into the dark to join her family, this is Mark, coming to you live from Thornybush Private Nature Reserve, Andy on camera and Becky in final control. And join us again tomorrow as we bring you the wonderful happening of the animals of Thornybush. Bye-bye. Thanks for joining us on Wild Earth, and we hope you had a pleasant afternoon with us. Hope I've answered those questions that came through without getting too distracted. And I'm distracted now. There's a red light flashing. A GoPro deciding to record something all on its own. So thanks everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.